give me one example. One country in the Middle East at the moment where Christians are safer than in Israel. I'll make it easier for you. Give me one country in the Middle East where the Christian population has grown since 1948 other than Israel.
Well, I can't comment on that.
I'll tell you, it doesn't exist. Israel is the safe haven for Christians in the Middle East. Now, does that mean that you don't have single racists that are idiots and deserve to get condemned and locked up? Absolutely. That's like saying you have some Aussie here that pulls off the headscarf of a Muslim woman. Is that Australia? No.
A few weeks ago during the election campaign, I was filming in Melbourne CBD when I spotted a familiar, menacing face. Someone who first came to my attention after approaching a random rabbi with a threatening message intended for me.
Avi Yemeni, you and your bodyguard. I'm looking for you. For fighting count.
Okay, have a good day. We'll see you.
But I wasn't the only one Roman targeted. When a well-known TikToker from Perth visited Melbourne to film light-hearted, non-political comedy content, he accidentally stumbled across the hostile anti-Israel mob who have taken this city hostage.
Why did you decide to stand right in front of me? I'm just trying to understand why you're blocking my path. Are you protesting against me? I'm getting protested against. This is a blockade of myself.
The poor bloke, clearly confused and unsure why he was being targeted, and realising that Victoria Police weren't going to intervene to protect an innocent bystander.
No, definitely not. But look at this, what's happening, sir? What is this?
I told you not to don't touch him.
What's this? I want to know what they're doing.
I told you, you understand, so you upset people. You know what's going on, okay?
I really don't. I honestly do not.
We'll leave it to it, but I warned you earlier.
I did. They're not talking to me.
Yeah.
He tried to walk away, but Roman, true to form, played the tough guy once again and threatened him.
I'm trying to. Wherever I go, they keep following me. Look at this.
Stay around the city afterwards.
I'm not doing
Stay
anything.
around the city afterwards. Stay around the city afterwards. Stay around the city afterwards.
I don't know what's going on.
What's going on is that juiced up Roman just dared the TikToker to stay in the city for whatever peaceful reason. And who could forget our first actual encounter, not behind a camera to some random rabbi, when he and his crew crashed a rally against anti-Semitism only to make a complete deal of himself.
I'm a real man facing you face to face.
I'm here.
In front of thousands of Israelis.
Because they'll never get
By
violent. They're
myself.
not like you guys.
By myself.
Because they're not like you.
So when I spotted Roman again in the city, I decided to approach him, this time without his usual aggressive entourage, to see if he was actually capable of having a rational conversation. And I've got to admit, it started surprisingly well. Roman was on his best behaviour. But keep watching, because once he's pressed on a few of his false claims and can't back them up, his true colours quickly come through.
What's happening?
Just training my clients, getting my steps in.
I see you're at the Fit Expo.
Yeah, 100%. I'm into fitness, strong mind, strong body.
Are you natty?
Look, bro, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if I'm natty or not, because you still got to train hard and, you know, still got to eat right and, like, yeah.
100%, yeah. But are you natty or not?
Like I said, bro, like, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, you still got to train hard and eat right, you know? So, like,
100%.
yeah, no, it doesn't matter.
All right. Okay, all right. Thanks, bro. That's it.
Saw you didn't want to answer the question when they asked you about being on the gear. I know you've been asked that question before. Are you on the gear?
Huh?
You're on the gear. Like, you're going to deny that too, but, you know.
Does that intimidate you? Look, I'm not going to say I'm natty, but I'm also not going to admit to anything, you know?
Why incriminate yourself, eh?
Exactly.
Tell me, are you still going to the protests these weeks?
Yes, I still am staunchly pro-Palestine. I believe that there should be a two-state solution to start off with. I believe that the war should end. I believe that innocents on both sides should not be killed.
How do you feel about the protests in Gaza at the moment by Palestinians against Hamas, not Israel?
Look, I think that the Palestinians are in a dire situation where they just want to survive. They just want to eat. They just want their family members to survive. They just want to be treated like humans. And if Hamas is not going to do that, or the IDF is not going to do that to them, then an international body should actually take charge and be like, we need to give Palestinians human rights, their own land, their own freedom, their own safety, even if that is a new government. But I mean, I don't live there. I don't understand what the resistance fighters are going through, you know?
So why do you think, though, your protest group, none of them are kind of amplifying the voices of Palestinians in Palestine that are calling for a regime change of Palestine, calling for the end of Hamas, which is something everybody should agree on?
Because they're not in Gaza. They don't understand the situation. If I was in Gaza and I want a new political party, how can they vote in a new party when they're now, just today, they just received orders to move out of Rafah into a safe zone?
Sure, but you're saying they're not in Gaza, so they can't comment about what's happening there. But you guys are not in Israel. You guys are not on the border. You guys are not in Palestine the whole time. And you're very quick to condemn the Israelis. But suddenly when the people you say you're standing up for and you're protesting on behalf of are saying, set Palestine free from Hamas.
Look, I mean, if Hamas commit atrocities or injustices, if they do it in situations, then I will condemn it in situations where they mistreat civilians and there's no, like, a voice for the Palestinians too. However...
So will you condemn them for the way they've been treating those protesters? There's videos now online circulating.
100% I'll condemn that. The thing with me
And what about October 7? Like also for what they did on October 7, do you condemn that?
100% I condemn the killing of innocents, yeah? Innocent
You've
Israeli
progressed,
civilians,
Roman. You've really
innocent
changed.
Jewish lives, innocent Muslim lives, we're all human, yeah? I wish there was, call it Israel or Palestine or whatever, yeah? I wish there was a land where Muslims, Christians and Jews can live together peacefully. Because you're allowed to believe in whatever faith you want. I'm allowed to believe in whatever faith I want. If he's a Christian, he can be a Christian. If that means we can't live side by side, or if you want more land, if you want 65% of my land, and you want a legal settlement, or if I'm like, no, you shouldn't be alive because you're Jewish, that's not right. That's not how it should be. Now, the amount of lives lost, not just in Palestine, in Syria, in Africa, in China, and everywhere else in the world, we need to change our mindsets. We need to be like, let's put an end to the corruption. We've seen what Netanyahu's done. We've seen what Hamas has done to civilians or to Israeli civilians. We have seen what the West has done. We have seen what even extremist Islamic groups have done. The thing with me is when I condemn violence or I condemn injustice, I condemn it on a whole. I'm not just pointing fingers at Israel. What Israel is doing is evil. What Hamas did is evil. I will point fingers at the people doing wrong. If I saw an innocent woman being attacked by a man, I'll go up to that man and I will stop that injustice.
Why did you wait? What's this new Roman? What's happened to you? Because you haven't been like that every time I've bumped into you until now, and this is nice. I welcome this. I think that more conversation between Australians is what we need to have, even though we both obviously come from our perspectives. What's changed for you?
Because with me, I keep an open mind. I look at things from a logical perspective. And I'm allowed to have my views and opinions. That doesn't mean that we have to fight in Melbourne. As much as I believe in what I believe in, me going to that pro-Israel protest and intimidating you guys or creating a scene, that's not the way to do it.
Do you regret that?
I don't regret it because I still made that decision. And looking back, when I was full of emotion, when I was like, how can these people support the unaliving of innocent children? How can these people support a genocide? How can these people stand with a government that has committed the atrocities they do? The same way, if you saw a group that was like...
Every single week on the street celebrating Hamas.
But the thing is, at that pro-Israel protest, you didn't have Muslims. You didn't have Palestinians there, yeah? We have Jews for Palestine.
You have token Jews, and we also had token Muslims. You could say there weren't.
Jews for Palestine is
Yeah,
actually
Muslims
very big
I have a good friend that's a Muslim.
group. Good friends. Okay, when it comes to
Muslim,
Jews for
I'm
Palestine-
saying Muslim for Israel. There are plenty of them, but the point is,
Muslims for Israel. Okay. If you compare Jews are a very small minority in the world. There is 1.8 billion Muslims, And when you look at the amount of Jews who stand up, because it's not, look, Avi, it's not a matter of you're Jewish, I'm Muslim, yeah? Even though the media wants to portray it like that. It's humans wanting to be human. What did Nazi
why do
do?
so many Muslims want to kill me?
Do you know why Nazi Germany tried to get away with what they did? They dehumanized the Jewish population. The anti-Semitism in the 30s and 40s started with dehumanization. So when you have Israelis, or even Palestinians calling Israelis not human for what they're doing to them, when you have Israelis being like unalive Palestinian babies because they're going to grow up to be Hamas, that's not right. And a majority
No one does that.
majority of
No
the
one does that,
Israeli
no.
comments I've seen, majority say unalive all Palestinians, wipe them out. When I see comments like this, I don't believe to wipe out every single Israeli civilian. That's not going to
Do you
solve
feel the
anything.
same way when you're in Muslim groups here in Australia that have for many years called Jews Kalb and every other name?
I'll condemn that. I'll condemn that.
So
Because-
it goes two ways. I agree with you, and that's, I think most Jews would agree with you in that position. It's a very different position you're coming at than when you did that time. Now, you mentioned all these wars that have gone on around the world, but why don't we see your protesters, the majority of the people that come to your protests, they never talk about any of those other issues. They won't dare talk about the Palestinians in Gaza right now protesting against Hamas. Why is it they've got this specific place in their heart to hate just Israel?
I think it's personal for a lot of people.
Why?
So I'm 29 years old. 19 years ago, when I was 10 years old, I asked my dad to take me to my first ever Palestine protest. When I was 10, I had a hope. I'm like, hopefully in the next few years, this will all be done and over. Jews and Muslims will live peacefully. Palestinians and Israelis will live peacefully, hopefully. That was my dream as a 10-year-old, yeah? 19 years later. So imagine living with that for 19 years, knowing there's injustice going on in the world. I don't know how some IDF soldiers sleep at night. If I was a IDF soldier and I know that hundreds of kids died in the last few days, you look at October 7, yeah? You look at 9/11. These one-day events have been used to justify massacres. You look at Iraq. How many people died in Iraq? 2 million people died in Iraq. Was George Bush right? Did they find weapons of mass destruction? You look at these wars justified by single day.
It's very. Look, you're comparing apples and oranges. I'll tell you why. Because an Israeli soldier. I'll tell you why. An Israeli soldier goes out to defend his country. The Americans went and invaded Iraq or whatever. Israelis are protecting literally their families, their life. You're talking about Hamas that has in their charter saying that they will wipe them, their mother, their sister, their wife, their kids out. So it is about the existence. You're fighting for your existence. You're fighting for your life. I can also, and you would be surprised how many Israelis or Jews actually sympathize with a rational Palestinian position. But the problem is it becomes really hard to rationalize with, to sympathize with it when you see people like the way you behaved, both when you threatened me to a rabbi or when you came to the protest, or when they were cheering on the October 7 attacks, and then when they realized that the world wasn't really with them in support of that, they started to deny they even happened. Do you understand why that is, and why you talking the way you're talking now is exactly what we need more of in Australia?
I understand that. I have seen videos of October 7 hostages, their family members speak while they're in Israel, while they're protesting Netanyahu. Yeah, Israel have their own domestic...
Because you can do that in Israel. You can't do that in Palestine.
You can do that. Have you seen what they do to the Orthodox Jews who are for Palestine and Israel? Have you seen what they do to the Christian nuns who walk around in the extremist group? Have you
complete
seen what the
nonsense.
settlers-
That's complete
the government of Israel have given weapons to illegal Israeli settlers. That's not nonsense. You can look, Avi. I'll admit to injustice. You have to admit.
No, I think that.
illegal Israeli
I think
settlements.
some Israeli.
You have to condemn that.
Some
You
Israeli
have to
policy I don't
condemn.
agree with. But what you bringing up about the Orthodox religious Jews protesting? They're protesting joining the army for religious
No, because,
reasons,
look-
and the nuns. You're talking about.
Avi, because you're portraying
Single
Israel.
incidents.
You're portraying
Where's
Israel.
give me
as
one
good
one
guys.
example? Because give me one example. One country in the Middle East at the moment where Christians are safer than in Israel. I'll make it easier for you. Give me one country in the Middle East where the Christian population has grown since 1948, other than Israel.
Well, I can't comment on
I'll
that.
tell you, it doesn't exist. Israel is the safe haven for Christians in the Middle East. Now, does that mean that you don't have single racists that are idiots and deserve to get condemned and locked up? Absolutely. That's like saying you have some Aussie here that pulls off the headscarf of a Muslim woman. Is that Australia? No. Most Aussies would condemn that person. Most Israelis condemn.
So are you saying most Israelis condemn the mindset that Palestinians shouldn't have human rights, Palestinians shouldn't have their own land, Palestinians shouldn't have the right to self-determination? Because I'm telling you, Avi, what you're saying...
You're conflating things, but
no,
whatever.
what you're saying and what I've seen and what I've heard is different, yeah?
Maybe
And I'm
you
talking
got
about
an
the
Aussie
majority
passport,
here.
right?
Yes.
You can go to Israel. You can see it for yourself. And if you're as open-minded as you say you are, and I have hope for it, because I look at you now and you're a changed man than the aggressive kind of violent thug you wanted to portray yourself as to that rabbi in the university and to me, to my face on that day. So I accept it, and I think that if you are as open-minded as you say you are, go and see it for yourself. Go and see how people... Mate, do you know what? I actually have 2 Muslim kids. I don't like this idea that everyone thinks they know everything about the Jews and the way they think or how Israelis think is complete nonsense. Final word to the people. If you could go back in time, would you have acted differently? I know you don't want to say you regret because you're the kind of person that finds it hard to admit that you did something wrong. If you could go back in time on that university campus, would you find a different way to approach that rabbi that time you threatened me? And on that day outside Parliament, would you have acted differently?
Well, based on the pro-Israel activists or attackers who attack the encampments, I wanted to show them that if they want to be bullies, they can try and bully me, because one, you cannot threaten or put fear in my heart. The Palestinians, they don't have an army, they don't have an airbase, but they're fighting because
We're in Australia. Don't blame other people. I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about other people.
I wanted to show that if you want to attack students who are just at a peaceful encampment, I will be there. I will defend them.
But that's not what you did. You
The
said
night
you were
I
going
went
to get
Monash-
me.
The night I went to Monash, I saw footage. I saw footage of you going to encampment.
Me?
And I did what I did. Plus, on the
Me,
day,
I went to an encampment.
No, you went to Melbourne Uni. I saw. And then
Sure, having conversations with people. I never turn. Have you ever seen me turn violent?
You served in the IDF.
Have you ever? You don't know what I did in the IDF. Have you ever seen?
You know what you did in the IDF.
Yeah, I know exactly what I did. I'm proud of myself in the IDF. But
Proud. You're proud of unaliving civilians.
you see, that's
The IDF.
you've
do
just
that.
jumped. You've
Or
just jumped.
IOF. I call it my idol.
I know.
Okay. Do you believe the IDF is a moral army?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Give me
That's where we
give me
disagree.
a comparison of another army that's more moral than the IDF.
Another army. I would say the Australian army is more moral.
Really? Have you seen what they did in Afghanistan, Iraq?
My own people, yes, but they're still more moral than the Israeli army.
Really? Do you know their ratio of combatants to civilians kills the Australian army compared to the Israeli army? You don't know that because that's my point. Is because you have an internal bias and hatred.
I hate anyone that commits atrocities and injustice.
But you hate the Israelis. You hate the Jews more. You hate the Israelis more than people that have killed more.
No, I'll hate the Nazis as much as I hate the IDF.
Well, so now you're just calling the Jews Nazis. That's the
IDF
claim.
soldiers who say unalive all Palestinians and want to commit genocide and atrocities, which Holocaust survivors have called a genocide.
You know what? Stop relying on other
Your
people to
own
tell you that.
people. Your own people. Are
I've been in the army.
Holocaust
I know what the
survivors
army does.
call
I
the
know.
genocide in Gaza a genocide.
I know.
You know that, you admit it.
No, I think that there are bad. Like I gave you the example of the one Aussie that pulls the hijab off. Does that mean all Aussies are that?
No,
Okay.
but I don't-
So hold on. I've served in the Israeli army. I've been to Israel. You haven't done neither, and you're telling me what the Israeli soldiers think and say.
I'm not just telling you. I'm saying go search it yourself. You don't.
I'm
have to
saying
believe
go
what I'm
there.
saying.
I'm saying I
Listen
don't
to
believe
it.
what you're saying.
Wait,
Why don't you
we
go
live
do
in a
it
day of
yourself?
Technology, yeah. You watch. All right. You remember the 2 nurses in Sydney, yeah? Who said that? I promise you, I will find 1,000 Zionists in Melbourne who say wipe out Gaza, flatten it, turn it into a carpet lot. 1,000. I promise you that there's 1,000 Zionists in Caulfield that will say flatten Gaza, unalive the babies.
And how many?
because
And,
they're
how,
going to
and if you want to use that, how many Muslims can I find that will say wipe Israel off the map?
I don't believe that's true. I'll condemn that. But you won't condemn the Israelis who say, would you condemn
Absolutely
the
condemn
Zionists who say...
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm telling you, you're full of shit. You're taking little examples like the one man that pulls off the hijab and you're portraying everyone like that. The community here, are you telling me
I'm not
that
going to give you the reaction you want.
Man is right.
this man is right? Come, join the conversation.
I don't have time, but
The people support me. The world supports me, guys.
Okay,
I don't. All I have
that
to
doesn't
do.
make you right.
Do you know what?
Do you know you
We
can join
live
a
in
mob.
day of
You can
age
join a
of
mob.
Technology, guys. Search it for yourself. Look what the IDF soldiers do to the homes. Look what they do to children. Look at the footage. Did you see that? On October 7th, they claimed Hamas beheaded 40 babies.
No, they
Till
don't.
this day,
No, they
yes,
didn't.
did.
Show me the footage
Yes,
where
they
they
did.
show me the
Till
footage.
this day, they
Yeah,
haven't
I was
done
there.
it.
I was there. I was
The
there on the
difference
day.
is-
I was
the
there on the day.
difference
Do
is
you want to know what actually happened?
Israelis
Do you want to know what
claim
actually happened?
something.
Do you want to know what happened?
Israelis
No.
claim
Don't make it lie.
Palestinians show you.
Okay.
Palestinians record it as it happens.
I
They're
know.
like, watch. This is my whole family being unalive.
No, you're right.
This is my whole
No, no.
neighborhood being bombed.
Roman, you're
Palestinians
right.
will show you.
They did show us. They showed us on October 7th.
Israelis will
They
hear a
showed us on
siren.
October.
Will hear a siren. Go into a building as an influencer. Record themselves. Be like, oh, I just got my matcha latte from Starbucks. There's a siren. I'm so scared for my life. An hour later, they'll be partying at a beach club while there's Palestinians being bombed. That's the difference.
No,
between
I
reality
agree
and
with you. The
argument.
Palestinians do show
And
us.
then they-
On
when
October
they
7th,
hear-
they
when they
showed
hear
us.
Gaza being
They showed us.
bombed,
And then you denied
they
it.
cheer.
And then you
When
denied
they hear
it.
children
And then you
being
denied it. When on October 7th, when they showed us what they did, then you denied it. And then you took this one scenario. Show me now the footage. Because you know how
I'm not gonna get my
hold
phone
on.
out and
You
show
know
you.
why?
I
You
can
know.
show you
Hold
millions
on.
of
Hold on.
clips of
You know how I
Palestinian
know that 40 babies, beheaded babies story? Do you know how I was there when it was said, and it was mistranslated and taken by the media, and a day later, who corrected the record?
What do you
No,
mean?
no, who-
Israelis claim that.
No, no.
Israelis
And is-
claim-
no,
it was all
Zaka-
of Israeli
yeah,
media
there was-
and
it's-
American media. The West. The
Hold,
West
no,
loves
hold
to
on.
milk
No,
it.
stop deflecting.
The West
Hold
loves
on.
to milk it. Look at Avi's body language. Look at mine. I'm talking to you directly. He's getting defensive.
I'm
That
saying-
just shows you the world
You're-
is on my
you're-
side.
you're changing the
because
story.
No matter what Avi says, you do your own research. You go online. The world is against
Who
Israel.
said the 40 babies? Who said the 40 babies?
Why is TikTok being banned?
Who said 40 babies?
Why is TikTok being banned?
Bro, you're telling me TikTok. Are you on TikTok?
Because
Are you on TikTok?
pro-Palestine-
Are you on TikTok? Are you on TikTok?
pro-Palestine propaganda is being censored.
Who's banned on TikTok? Me or you?
TikTok is
Who's
being
banned
in
on
America.
TikTok?
I'm not
You
banned
or
on
me?
TikTok.
Okay. Wait, this massive
is-
Zionist
TikTok
conspiracy.
is
I'm the
being
one
banned
banned.
in America. Why?
I'm banned.
No,
I'm banned. You're not banned.
But
It's
you're
a,
banned
it's a
because of what you've
Palestinian
done.
plot.
You've recorded like instigating situations, and TikTok has reported your videos. That's their algorithm. Everything
hold on,
I've
hold on,
done,
wait.
I haven't been banned.
You haven't been banned. And
Yes.
you share
Are
all
you
this
saying
pro-Palestinian stuff.
pro-Palestinians control the media.
What? So are you saying
Is that your argument?
do Jews control the media? Is that the problem?
Oh wait, in America they have huge influence. Trump is Netanyahu's bitch. He is. He pulled the chair out. Look at how he treated Zelensky. Look at how he treated Netanyahu. If you want to see who's ruling your country, simply watch that video. Why? Because Israelis buy American weapons. That's their biggest customer. They don't care about the hostages. The thing is, Netanyahu doesn't care about the hostages. There's like 20 alive out of the first 200 since October 7, yeah? 20 alive. You think Netanyahu cares about them? The hostages, the families of the hostages know that. This is not about
Do you care about the hostages?
Of course I do.
Why have you never protested for
Of
the
course I do.
hostages?
I've said that if someone is a hostage and they're innocent,
Why have you
until
not
if
protested
they're
for the
not a
hostages?
soldier. What do you mean? I'm telling you now, this is a protest. This is a formal protest.
Down the
right
barrel of the
now.
camera, tell the leader of Hamas, who you won't have much time because they keep swapping every 2 days, tell him, the current leader of Hamas, release the hostages so we can end this war.
If you tell Netanyahu,
No.
that if you tell Netanyahu,
Hold
he's
on.
the devil who doesn't care about unaliving children,
You said
100%,
you said you
100%.
believe you said you
Condemn-
believe that.
condemn
I
your
didn't say I
dictator.
believe that. I didn't say I
Condemn
believe
your
that. But
dictator.
you see, you're a liar. You just flip
Condemn
it.
your dictator.
You said that.
can't condemn your dictator. Why? Because you know exactly what happened to you.
You see, Roman.
You know
so
exactly
first
what
it's
happened to you.
it's the false lie about the 40 beheaded
I will
babies,
not sit here and
and
defend
then
a dictator.
when you challenge
Unlike
what they're
others.
saying, and you make him actually,
No,
you hold him accountable to the
you're
words,
trying
and they.
You're
Now he
trying to
says.
command me to condemn all this, condemn this, condemn
No,
this.
I
condemn
asked
this.
you. I asked you why you didn't. We'll rewind it. I asked you why you've never protested for the babies, for the hostages. You said this is my protest. I
Protesting
said
for a
today.
free Palestine. Why did you
no,
just
the
say
hostages.
October 7th? What about
Hostages.
October 8th?
Hostages.
What about October 9th?
Hostages.
What about 75 years of Palestinian oppression? What about 75 years of unaliving innocent Palestinians? You claim
How far
one
back
day-
do you want to go?
We can go back thousands of years.
That's where we want to go
Thousands of
back.
years.
So you're talking about when it was a Jewish state? Twice.
When it was
Oh, you don't want to go back
Okay,
thousands of
now
years
this
now?
is okay. This war is because God promised you land
No,
3
no,
years ago.
no.
So you can unalive children because God promised you land 3,000 years
No,
ago.
I'm asking you how far
So
back your
can
history
kick
you
out
want to go.
Palestinians of the West Bank. No Hamas in the West Bank. Look at the
There actually
atrocities
is
they
Hamas
commit
in the West Bank, but all right.
Look at the atrocities. Guys, do your own research, okay? No matter what Avi says or I say, do your own research.
That's right. Go to
See it for
Israel.
yourself.
Go to Palestine.
Go to Israel.
And have a feel for
Ask a
yourself.
Palestinian who's in Gaza to go to Israel. Ask a Palestinian in Gaza to go to Israel. Can Palestinians enter Israel freely? Oh no, there's walls. It's an open air prison.
Yeah, are there walls? Are there walls
Israel
around? No, wait.
controls
Are there?
their
Hold on.
water,
Are
their
there walls
electricity.
around Gaza?
Are there walls around Gaza? I know you're going to mention Jordan and Egypt, but you know
no,
what?
I'm not.
I condemn all the Arab leaders
I'm
that
not-
sided with Israel.
I did say that.
I condemn all the Arab leaders that have sold Israel oil.
Are there
I condemn
no-
all the Arab countries that pretend to care about the Palestinians.
You're so
that only care about money.
You're so. Hold on. You're so. Listen. I just asked a basic question.
I'll condemn the
There's-
supposed
there's-
Muslim leaders
there's
that,
a basic.
that sell Israel oil.
A basic question.
I don't care.
You said
I'm
there's.
not gonna-
Are there walls around Gaza? You said.
Yes.
What do they look like?
Now you're being ridiculous. If you lived in Gaza, you would have a different perspective.
No, of course I would.
What
Of course I
do they
would. But I'm
look
saying
like?
what.
This isn't it. This is the Zionist.
There's no
mindset.
bec-
Palestinians do have human rights.
I didn't say that. I
There's
just
a
asked
video
you-
of one eating.
I just asked you to-
There's a video of one drinking water. Yeah, we
Can
treat
I tell you a
them
little
fair.
secret? I'll tell you a little secret because I've got to help you with your propaganda.
your arguments.
There's
No, it's
no
not
wall.
propaganda.
There is no
Search it for
wall
yourself.
around Gaza.
Search it for yourself.
There's no wall around Gaza. Do you know what there is?
Hamas.
No.
It's a Hamas war. The wall's Hamas. Bomb it because Hamas. That's the argument. Oh, Hamas, October 7, anti-Semitism. That's all your arguments. The three arguments the Zionists will use. They'll repeat October 7, they'll ignore every single date. And they'll ignore every single year for the past 75 years. Or
Do you
any
notice how
time-
every time you get trapped,
Dude,
you jump to
they'll
a
claim
different
it's
subject?
anti-Semitism. The moment you say, stop unaliving
Is there a
babies,
wall around
that's
Gaza? There is no wall. Show
That's
me the wall
anti-Semitism.
around Gaza. Show me the wall. You see,
You're
every.
being really- I'm not getting my phone out.
All I'm
proving all
just
your
point.
points.
It's not my points. They're your
we
points.
can
I'm trying to
be
get
here
you
all
to
day.
help you with your propaganda. If you're going to make
It's
a
not-
point,
don't-
make it.
what- You're calling this propaganda.
Yeah, where's the
Israel-
wall?
Wait,
One
Israel
wall.
have to pay
One
Indians-
wall around Gaza.
Israel have to pay Indians to put
It's a border
online.
fence, ladies and gentlemen.
Israel have to use
Sorry.
AI images. He says
There's
what I do. No,
there's a
shut-
border
shut up on me,
fence.
yeah?
There's a border
Just
fence
shut up
around
on me.
Gaza.
Israel have to use AI images to make the world feel sorry for them. Palestinians show you real time. They will be like, this is what's happening to us. Israelis will go on Twitter and be like, we need to commit genocide because all of Hamas are everywhere. All the babies are Hamas. Unalive them.
No one
This
says
is what
that.
Israelis,
says that.
that's how they justify
No one
what
says
they
that, brother.
do.
But you just.
Yes, they do. And you want to talk about the hostages? What about the hostages in Palestinian prisons? 10-year-olds
You
throwing
mean
rocks
prison?
at tanks. 10-year-olds. And you look at the treatment. Look at the treatment of Palestinian
Oh, they're
prisoners
treated
when they come
well,
out.
the hostages. Yeah.
wait.
Amazing.
When you see the videos of the Israeli hostages coming out, look at what Netanyahu did to some of the Israeli hostages that got released.
I fear
I'm
your
glad-
rational.
I'm
The
glad
rational
that Rebel
Roman
News
is
give me a
gone.
voice. You're not going to put this in the video, yeah? But look at what Netanyahu did to some of the hostages' family members. He cares so much about 20 lives, he'll lose thousands of IDF soldiers.
How you going, mate? Has he convinced you with his?
I'm not really listening. I just wanted to shake your hand.
Oh, all right. God bless you. Listen, stay safe. Look, it's funny. It's glad I bought out the old Roman, who suddenly is irrational and makes up stories,
well, see,
and you can't
anyone
keep
who
one.
doesn't agree with the Zionists is irrational. Anyone who says
Anyone who
"Stop
lies."
unaliving babies.
No,
Stop-
but why do you have to lie
stop
to make
unaliving
it?
Babies.
Why do you have to
See,
lie to
call
make
it
that
a lie.
point?
That's what the Germans will say. Every single point you're saying, they'll call it a lie.
God bless. You're gonna shake my hand now. Or you're not. Now you're done.
No, because I know what you were trying to do, and I'm not giving you the reaction that you want. I'm not giving
You
you the
came in.
reaction
You know,
that want.
more practice in acting
But
rational.
Everything I said, I know you're gonna cut and edit to this. Yeah, I know that. You didn't put the whole.
No, we're gonna
speech.
put the wall. We're gonna put the Gaza wall.
Yeah, you're only going to upload the stuff that suits you. But you know what? The people are going to do their own research. I just wanted to say that, just so on the day of judgment, at least God will be like, I sent you Roman to tell you. that right before you die, you can redeem yourself. You can be like, no, all the suffering of the kids and the women and all the innocent civilians, yeah? They're going to pray, and all those prayers will be answered one day, yeah? And on the day of judgment, we'll see.
Are you
We'll see
Palestinian, by the way? Or are you?
I'm Palestinian at heart, but I'm Afghan.
Afghan,
You know
yeah,
what?
I thought you were.
And we're all Palestinian, yeah? The whole world now is Palestinian. People, because of this October 7th situation and because of this Palestine situation, have become Muslim. It's just growing our religion because they're seeing the truth. They're just seeing the truth. And on the day of judgment, we'll see who's
Are
right.
you Sunni, Shia?
On the day of judgment, we'll see who's right.
Are you Sunni, Shia? Right, man, you were so rational at first.
If you love this video, make sure to smash that like button, drop a comment, and most importantly, share it around. Then hit up followavi.com to jump on my mailing list and for the links to follow me everywhere so you never miss a thing. That's followavi.com. Go now.